How's it going, everybody? It's time for a laid-back December Crucible up against Kevin.
A few moments later.
Scopely, Marvel Strike Force, you can go f*** yourselves. How's it going, everybody? Today we got a video. Scopely has no idea what the heck they're doing with this game, and I'm not talking about battles. I'm actually talking about new characters, stats, speed, mechanics, and where the game is inevitably going in the very, very near future. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below about your thoughts. Maybe I'm just being whiny. I did just get absolutely crushed in Crucible because it's something that we're going to be talking about today. Which, I mean, hey, I'm not salty. I'm uber salty. All right, so let's talk about Kahhori here. Kahhori's kit is kind of bonkers, right? So she, on her basic, is attacking primary target for 200% piercing, 50% drain, and 5% target's max health, flipping 2 positive effects, so she'll just rip through pre-taunts who don't have safeguard, all kinds of stuff. Her special attacks everybody, clears all barrier, flips 5 positive effects on all enemies, applying just crazy amounts of debuffs. Her ultimate does 500% piercing, defense down, heal, block, disrupt, and trauma. And hey, if they got safeguard, let's do 1000% piercing instead, and it fills her speed bar by 100%. All right, but we can counter her, right? Well, she also spawns with 200% speed bar, and on spawn attacks the enemy control with the highest focus for 350% piercing. Applying slow. Sorry, applying expose. Sorry, I'm slow. Let's see this in action. So, I did get to face off against my first Kahhori, 2 diamonds, and I brought in the following team. I brought in Dawkins, Old Man Logan, Black Cat, Ultimates, Apocalypse. Now you get extra life from Apocalypse. We drained some focus, though Kahhori, I didn't get to it, but she cannot be affected by... her focus or damage cannot be affected except by offense down. But the whole idea here was like, oh, okay, well, if we survive Kahhori, I got a bunch of characters that can kind of set the stage where I'll strip the taunt off of Gladiator because we got Apocalypse taking Safeguard off, and then we can get ahead of it, get a stun on Gore, maybe get a stun on Kahhori, Falcon Punch with Thanos, and away we go, right? Well, was I a little taken aback here. So Kahhori is immediately going to start the game. Sorry, I'm getting a little anxious. And she's going to use her passive. Now, her passive is going to go for Old Man Logan. He gets extra focus. And you see right there, it hits for 2 million damage. So that's going to bring Old Man Logan at 50% life. Then she's going to do her basic on Apocalypse. It's going to hit him for about 2.4 million. And then she goes right back to Old Man Logan. The basic attack does 1.2 million. I'm guessing that's the drain doing 400,000. And that's the 5% life. The additional 300,000. So Old Man Logan is just dead. Old Man Logan's not that old a character, guys. Old Man Logan was out this year in May. Not even like January, in May, the 5th month. Near halfway mark. I know Kahhori just came out. But we're talking about just over 6 months difference. And she's just one-shotting. But hey, you know, I kept it because I did get to do my Apocalypse Punch. And I took out the Thanos. Maybe I should have went for the Kahhori. Definitely should have. There's a lot of misplays that happen here. But this doesn't really affect the message I want to be talking about today. So I decide, you know what? Let's leave it. I'll come back in. It dawned on me then, though. Hey, Kahhori just 2 attacks. So she's now using that special. We talked about that special briefly, right? That special, which is a 4-turn cooldown, hits all enemies, 250% piercing, 30% drain, flipping all positive effects, and hey, deals double damage against enemies that have Safeguard, because why not? So I said, you know what, we'll go over here with Spider Society. This is a maxed out team. They're all Crimson geared. They're all Purple ISO 3. They're all max level. They're all 3 diamonds. What's the worst that could happen? Surely I'll at least get to do some sort of damage here. Well, Kahhori goes ahead and does her opening expose or whatever on the controller character. Then she hits the ultimate on Peter, which is going to give him trauma as well as Noir. And then she hits that special, which gives everybody defense down. Kind of crazy, guys. Kind of absolutely crazy. Anyway, the rest of the team does do some damage here. But it's watch the damage that Peter B just took there from those bleeds, right? Because when she flips things... When she flips these deflects in these regions, she flips it using her damage stat. And so that takes Peter B down from, let's call that, well, first the hit did about 30%. Let's call that about 60% life. And just the bleeds alone are going to take Peter all the way down to, what, 2%? 1% life? God, it's frustrating to watch. But hey, I know I got to keep this because if I don't keep this, I'm just going to walk right back into the same thing, right? So like go back in with Cabal after that. And I'm going to bring in Mysterio because sure, Mysterio is going to have some dupes. And if she's going to open up with some basics, she can hit a dupe instead. Kang's going to get speed up in this mode. He's going to be able to pop off. 200% speed bar. Doesn't give a crap about your speed up or your extra speed bar you give to the team. So she opens up with that. And then she opens up with a basic on Kang, followed by the special because, hey, 2 turns on a 4-turn ability is going to get you that special very quickly. She's a one-man heroes for hire, okay? And this just goes absolutely horrible so fast. And at this point, I am tilted off the planet. I wanted to investigate why this felt so bad to me. Because it felt really bad. I get mad when I lose, but I felt bad. I felt discouraged to play the game. I opened up a different game. I started making content for that different game. King Arthur Legends Rise, by the way, is a fantastic game if you enjoy PvE content and don't enjoy wallet measuring, which we're going to talk about. And that's exactly what I found in my little quick research here. If we go to the character stats and we look at the damage metrics here, Kahhori has 490,000 damage at 3 diamonds. I'm doing 3 diamonds so we can see the damage on everybody, which by the way is very available for her. If you're a big spender, if you're a whaler or a kraken, you could easily get her to 7 yellow stars because that's what you guys do. And then you could easily get her diamonds either from that orb or just buying it from the store because there's a Mephisto event and everyone's going crazy. It dawned on me like this is the insane. We're at 500,000 damage. What was the damage like before the Great Reset, before the Annihilators came? And that's Captain Britain is the last one. So like Juggernaut, Zombie, Hell, they got little reworks before when Scarlet Witch came. They got little reworks, right? So Silver Surfer, 250,000. That's his damage. He's half of Kahhori. That's not much of a rework, right? Ultimate's 316, still real low. Even Thanos, Endgame, and Gladiator are sitting down here at 387, 397, and Gore, I guess, 395,000 respectively. They came out with September, and there's 100,000 damage difference between those characters. It got me thinking, have we seen that before? And those characters are slow, by the way, right? You know, the Annihilators are slow. They're kind of more reactive as opposed to proactive. They don't have the speed. It got me thinking, have we seen those sort of jumps before? So I scroll down, I go back to Captain Britain. I see I passive turned off, by the way. Otherwise, Red Goblin's like 260,000 or something like that. Same with Black Panther Shuri. And so I come back down to Captain Britain. And I start scrolling down and I notice how flat the damage curve is here. Look how flat the damage curve is. We've just dropped down, 20,000, and that's still on his team. Still on his team, and that's dropped down 20,000. I keep going. Like Gambit. Gambit's just a regular character. Well, I guess he got a little bit of a damage rework, right? With the extreme. Let's find a non-rework character. Agent Venom. Beta Ray Bill. 172, 172. There is literally only a 27,000 damage difference between these. How old is Bifrost? How old is Kang? How far down does Ghost Rider Supernatural 100? So there is only a 34,000 damage difference between Ghost Rider and Captain Britain, the last character released before the Great Reset. Yet, between the Annihilators and Kahhori and Blade and Nimrod, for the record, 100,000. Why did we need such an insane jump from there? And there's a lot you can say about Nimrod and about Blade. Like, they do really good damage. But they don't have 200% speed bar on spawn. I know, guys. I know it can be countered by Captain Britain. I know it can be countered by Scarlet Witch in War. I know it can be countered by Gladiator in Arena. Like, that's just so irrelevant. Because what this ends up doing is it makes any sort of player that doesn't go crazy on these characters have to shift their entire defense around, have 0 defense. And then they just lose by that. So it completely eradicates PvP. in a sense. It got me wondering, what does free to play look like? Let's go through yellow 3. This is like if you cord the character, right? Kahhori's at 218,000 damage. So is Blade and so is Nimrod. These characters have more damage than a completely maxed out Captain Britain. This doesn't make sense. It's not tenable. And the speed of all these characters is getting more and more jacked up. Nimrod gets speed from tech summons, as well as from Scientist Supreme. Blade, a pretty slow character, I believe 127, is getting speed stat by Man-Thing. And then Kahhori 200% speed bar on spawn. It really, really got me wondering, what the hell is Scopely doing? And we've always been on a conveyor belt of newest is always best, newest is always best, newest is always best. But it seems like it's completely jacked up to a crazy level. And I think it's about to get jacked up even more. We know the level cap is coming. Gold event, it's been long enough just in the timetable. They got to start setting us up for Professor X that they claimed was coming out in March of 2025 and when they announced him, right? So we need a new gear tier, new ISO tier, whatever the case may be. But we need something. And so I assume a level cap is coming. The last level cap, that was a 20% stat change. So this is only going to get exasperated even more because of how scaling works. Your older characters are going to get just dumpster. Just throw them in the garbage. Stop investing on anything I guess, Orcus Night Stalkers, because Annihilators didn't get that. But there's another thing coming. That's going to be diamonds. Think of what a fat whale is, right? I would say a fat whale is 6 stars. When I whaled out on Blade pretty much, and I got him to 6 stars. So he's got 6 red stars, he gets 60% stats. And then we look at the diamonds. Holy. More than double a 3 diamonds, close to double on 2 diamonds. And they're making these diamonds available for these characters. Now, if I go to my roster, you'll see any character I want, I have 3 diamonds on. Man-Thing, he's not available yet. I could buy him from the store. Dark Diamond promos, I don't whale out like that, so I just don't have it, right? Any character I want 3 diamonds on, I could have it on them. If I go to my store over here, you see I got 1,430. I probably have about 40 orbs or something like that I could open up. 34 orbs that I could open up at any given time. That'll be another, 150 diamonds or something like that. Plus, I just get them as an income, and if I buy this orb, then I can get more diamonds. You can see I could just buy. I already got 2 diamond Kahhori, pulled it from the orb. I go buy a 3 diamond for 5 million. That'd be a lot, but a whale or Kraken will do that, right? I think we're going to be getting diamond increase soon, 4, 5, 6, or some other sort of progression. And if it scales the same way, where, from the 6 red star, 4 upgrades is double. If we get another 3, is that going to be another 60%? Are we going to be looking at characters that are just going bonkers? This is so totally exasperating the PvE experience. This is dumpstering PvE to a crazy degree. This is the Battle World, bro. Right? They pulled Battle World. They're going to pull it to work on it. Now, what was wrong with Battle World? They were making us use newer characters against super old, like Wave 1 Avengers, Guardians, stuff like that, right? They couldn't put new characters on those nodes and still ask to use those teams because we would just get demolished. And they couldn't let us use new teams against the new difficulties because then this difference in stats would become so apparent to everybody. Anyone who's not a Kraken would just get fucked up before trying to try difficulty 5, right? Because if they had, 3 diamond Orcus characters with the jacked up stats, and you walked in there with your Spider Society, oh my god, you would get demolished. You really would. It wouldn't be like Crucible Raid Room because they jack up the stats. This is so dangerous because what this speed of the conveyor belt of new characters is doing is it's making the ability for Scopely to do interesting PvE content also gated behind crazy spending. And I think that's why they had to fail with Battle World. And I don't think they can stop now. Because the Astral team. What about the Astral team? People hated the Astral team. Make no mistake, guys. The Astral team was a raid team, right? It was for raids 2.0, aka Battle World, which is you go in there, you sim the node, you use them on the boss. That's it. You try and bring them into war. They're too slow. They have nice stats, but they're too slow, and they get dumpstered. And the community lost their minds and will continue to lose their minds because everyone feels, and rightfully so, that their investment into Astral was completely wasted because the mode that they were meant for, it's a raid. People like to have the raid teams good so they can just get through their daily crap without having to worry too much, right? So what's going to happen with Astral next? You think Astral's going to get a speed bump to make them useful in war? There's a lot of upheaval. They might. All I'm trying to say is that with this sort of absurd stat hopping that they're doing, mixed with them not understanding how to make interesting kits or content, so they always just default to something ridiculous, like character gets X speed, character stops X speed, the game is not going to be in a good spot. And as somebody that relies on the game for my occupation to feed my family, I'm looking for something else. Because I know a lot of people that have quit the game recently. And Scopely, for the love of God, if you're listening to this, please don't take 2 months off. Fix Battle World quick. Get it up in January. And you need to slow down with this sort of thing. Once it's out of the bag, it's out of the bag. Kahhori cannot be put back in the bottle anymore. They can't take her speed stat away. Those of you who are complaining about the assist mechanic, you just don't play anywhere near a competitive level. And I'm sorry, but it's the competitive level people that keep the game going. The people that are spending the money. But if your money doesn't matter unless you spend the max dollars, yikes. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Am I just whiny because I just got stomped? Or am I onto something here? I think I might be onto something here. Something's got to change. We need PvE content. We need fun PvE content. And we don't need for every new character to erase our less than a year-old characters. Listen, if she was one-shotting Hawkeye, I wouldn't love it, but I would accept it. When you're one-shotting a one-diamond Old Man Logan, I'm not loving that. And I don't think you guys would either. Have yourselves a great day. Stay happy, stay healthy, have fun. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.